in Whole Foods, and I said, "Excuse me, did Stephanie Temez do your tattoo?" And his mouth just dropped open. He said, like, "How did you know that?" But you develop an eye. And so I actually, yeah. So this is, however, I would say for those of us who are letter spacing experts that there's way too much space between the W and the ONDR. But it's a lovely, sometimes the stories that people tell me about their tattoos, like this one, he said that when you lie in bed with someone you love, you want her to rest her head on that spot, and then you want to wrap her up with it. I mean, that's so romantic and beautiful. So, and some, the stories range from, this is also Bickham script, a beautiful declaration of love. He had to shave it for me. Yes, and this is a side benefit of photographing tattoos. People are all too willing to take their clothing off for me. Just kidding, no. This is another Helvetica tattoo, also Helvetica Neue Bold, and a Swiss DJ sent me this. Sturm is his mother's maiden name, which means storm in Latin, and he was born in 1977, and this is in 77-point type. This tattoo is a tribute to the love of a father who passed away too soon. It's also the son's initials and the grandfather's initials, so it was kind of a family carrying on tattoo. This is someone who wanted her father's signature tattooed on her as a way of remembering him. A lot of times people feel that a tattoo is a kind of talisman against, well, you laugh, but I have so many of these, keep calm and carry on. I have a brother and a sister who both have that tattooed onto them. This is keep telling yourself that everything is going to be okay. The next one also is, the worst has already happened. So it's a kind of, good luck charm, if you will, or a protection against the evil eye. This is also a lot of times people say that they want to remember to be calm or to breathe. This means to be in peace or to be at peace in its Edwardian script bold for those type lovers in the audience. Oh, here is the keep calm and carry on. I wasn't sure I had it in here. I don't have the sister. This is the brother. Sometimes tattoos are part of what someone does to recover from an addiction. There is the XXX movement. There's this says poison free, and this woman told me that this tattoo saved her life. She said exactly that. It saved her life. People need reminders. Actually, the Serenity Prayer that I showed earlier on is also a recovery tattoo, and there are a number of tattoos that fall into that category. People need a daily reminder to stay on a path, and so they serve a lot of functions. This is a medical tattoo. Helvetica Neue Inserat Extended Bold. He plays a lot of hockey, and he said in case he was injured while he was playing and he didn't have any ID on him, he wanted a medic to know that he was diabetic. This tattoo is painful to me because it reminds, I have met this whole experience from that moment on the bus has just changed my life in so many ways. It has given me a tremendous respect and understanding about what people are doing with their tattoos. I've met some extraordinary people. I've learned a lot. I've heard a lot of stories. It's kind of, as I've said in the book, an insight into the human condition. And this particular person came to my book signing at Cooper Union, and she came all the way from Australia. She got my book in Australia, and she came to New York to meet me. And she wanted to tell me her story. She was dying of cancer, but she had the most extraordinary life force and radiant personality. And this tattoo was, her love of music, her love of red. I met her 2 more times after that, and even now when I'm talking about her, chills go down my spine because she just was someone who you just felt her power. I can't explain it. It was a very positive, joyous energy. I'm not that kind of a person that talks like that usually, but she just had something, and I will never forget her. She did very sadly pass away a few months ago. I got a message from her friend, and I wrote back to tell her my memories of her. It's from the Lou Reed song, I Believe in Love. This is a creative director from Denmark who, this is a 1,000-year-old Viking story. Some of these stories are really too long to go into, but they're in the book at greater length. It's a Norse-Danish Viking saga tattoo. This is still one of my favorites, done by Stephanie Tamez. It's a quote from Walt Whitman. Oh, it's getting windy out there. This is from page 174 of Catcher in the Rye. This is the 13th and final verse of a Wallace Stevens poem called 13 Ways of Looking at a Blackbird. Again, I only have a few minutes to go over these, but they're longer stories in the book. This is a passage from Une saison en enfer by the French poet Arthur Rimbaud, and it's in the arts and crafts style because it's the Rennie Mackintosh is the name of the typeface, but it was inspired by forms from the same period as the poem was written. This is a gorgeous script based on the typeface Burgess, and it was customized by the designer. I gave you a shout out earlier. And it translates as the Serene One. It's the name given to Venice, and it is from the book In the Company of the Courtesan by Sarah Dunant. People have also asked me if I've discovered anything new about tattoos as I've gone about researching and documenting them. And one of the strong trends that I see is a lot of bonding tattoos. Well, first of all, even people who are considered quite wholesome are getting tattoos. I think Kelly Ripa got her 4th tattoo recently. And Vanessa Hudgens, I was just reading from High School Musical, was getting her 2nd tattoo. So, you know, whatever stigmas that still exist, they are dropping away quickly. Also, there's a lot of bonding tattoos. These are partners. There are mother-daughter tattoos, father-son tattoos, sibling tattoos, friend tattoos. So people are finding that tattoos become a kind of bonding experience, or the word commitment could be applied also to the relationship as well as to the tattoo. This is a fun one that was on five guys who started a charitable bike race in Columbus, Ohio, and they decided to call it the Bum Shuffle. And so after the race, they decided that they were going to, but they realized that there were 5 of them. The words Bum Shuffle have 10 letters, so they were going to each get 2 letters of the word Bum Shuffle, so that when they put their arms together, it spells Bum Shuffle. And they each got, of course, very different typefaces, but you can kind of see it in there. And you see a little bit of a tire from the bike on one of them. I'm a big fan of knuckle tattoos because of the limitations of the space on your knuckles. So I think there is a kind of creativity that people apply to knuckle tattoos. Of course, the classic is Love and Hate. This is Give and Take. Now, PSDs are Photoshop documents. So this guy says he's not a pencil pusher, he's a pusher of Photoshop documents. It's insider baseball, what can I say? I am you, you are me. This is not beautiful type, but I like the sentiment and the kind of brevity of the way in which it was expressed. And also I would like to point out that the title's body type has 4 letters and 4 letters, and after the talk I have some temporary tattoos up here that you are welcome to as my gift to you, where that has body type in 10 different typefaces, and you can cut and paste and do your own temporary tattoo. This is a different kind of a knuckle tattoo with the interlaced knuckles. This is a really beautiful knuckle tattoo with shading and an outline. And the typeface is called Santa's Big Secret. And this is a tattoo artist herself named Joy Rumor, who I've written a profile of. And this is a beautiful tattoo. This is not my photograph. It was photographed by Jean Pittman. By the way, I forgot to mention, there is a photo essay from Body Type 2 on motherjones.com. It just was posted yesterday, so go have a look at it. This one is in that photo essay. What I love about this is this is the only time I've ever seen a script knuckle tattoo. And imagine how difficult it is to make that actually be readable across both sets of knuckles and have it be in script. It's just beautiful. And he's a painter, so his hands are full of paint. And this is Mike Essel's tattoo he's a professor at Cooper Union. Mike says it's a double entendre. He is a big fan of Mr. T. But also he says it's also sort of pitiful. There's a little Strand bookstore story behind this one. There is a woman who did a book of 2,092 words. Her name is Shelley Jackson, and she had people sign up to be one of the words in her story. And so each person got one word of her story. So this is an architect. And so after I photographed him, he then came to the Strand, opened up the book to the page where his tattoo is, and at that point he had already had a lot more tattooing done around the Remember. So just a little Strand reference there. Of course, mom is always people love their moms. And actually, these are just four of some of the more beautiful mom tattoos that I've seen. And, of course, there's occasionally a dad. This is and his dad has a handlebar mustache, so he wanted to work in the handlebar mustache. This is a different kind of dad. This guy said this was an homage to his leather daddy, who taught him everything he knows about cigars and booze and ballet. And those are his leather daddy's initials at the top. I'm almost done, but I just wanted to say that if there is anyone in the audience tonight who's sporting a typographic tattoo, please come up and see me after the talk, because I am actively collecting tattoos for what I hope will be Body Type 3. I already have quite an astonishing collection, and so tell your friends. This is actually a real tattoo. If you're squeamish, I totally understand. And that's all I have for tonight. So, does anybody have any questions? I think I answered the three most common questions, which are, do you have any tattoos? No. How did you get this idea? And where did you find these people? Any other questions? Any typographic questions? Yes.
Hi, Ina.
Hi.
I notice a lot of people with Asian characters for tattoos.
Yeah.
And I was just curious if you had any interest in those.
Yeah, it was a decision that I made right away that, my area of expertise is typography and Western characters or Latin letters. Because I really couldn't, if I couldn't read them, I couldn't tell what they said, and I couldn't really comment on the letter forms whether they were good or bad, so that was my choice. Yeah, I know they're very popular. Yes, Alex.
Saltz, can you talk about the permanence of particularly the tiny letters? What happens over time to these tattoos?
Well, of course, skin. Thank you. That is a great question. Skin is permeable. It ages. Sun fades